soul. What wondrous love is this that brings my heart of my soul and takes away the pain of my soul. Oh, my soul. What wondrous love is this, such bliss, and takes away the pain of my soul. To all my friends, to all my friends, I will sing, I will sing, I will sing, I will sing. You got it. You got it, Bessie. You got it. You got it, Bessie. I will sing. Great. Second
Good
service.
morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane, where our mission is to join together to create a nourishing, liberal, religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in our wider world, or as we say in short, to create community, find meaning, and work for justice. We're glad to have you with us. UUCS is a welcoming congregation, and we appreciate your unique experiences, backgrounds, beliefs, and lifestyles. Whether you have joined us in person, the Memorial Garden team would like to remind everyone of our serene and sacred space on the northwest side of our grounds. It's open year-round as a place of reflection and peace. And if you would like to learn more about the garden, brochures are available at the back of the sanctuary today. And Linda Green will be here later on today. From the team to present and answer any questions. On Sunday, February 22nd. Do you want to learn how to make Hungarian treats and help prepare for Partner Church Sunday on March 15th? You can join the team for a hands-on baking session. There you will be making strudel and Linzer cookies. Donations will be accepted. All supplies are provided for this event, and participants will take some baked goodies home with them. Welcome to attend and are asked to stay with their parents or guardian during the activities. And because there's limited space, please respond by the February 10th deadline to Julie Jose at 509-325-8889, and her email will be remembering and honoring those who have loved and lost family in 2025. Our annual Requiem service is time for us as a church community to reflect on the life of both church members as well as family members lost in the past year. We dedicate this service to the memories of those who have passed before us and to share in a joyful recognition of these remarkable people who, through the lives they led, enhanced our own journey. We'll have more time for conversation with one another after the service today. So we now turn from our informal greeting of one another to formally begin our service by lighting our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, the symbol of our uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in darkness. And may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt where it has been found.
Our opening reflection this morning is a poem. We have been gifted by the lives of those who have passed and gone before us. The weight of their loss aches of their qualities and quirks, their ideals and idiosyncrasies, their passions and persuasions, their features, even their flaws. We remember meaningful conversations and lively discussions, moments of laughter or of beauty shared. May we remember those times cooking together, hiking, or volunteering, of concerts celebrated and songs sung, or just the quiet sharing of hopes, fears, and dreams over coffee or tea. May we remember what they loved, their families, friends, pets, gardens, nature, and may we remember them through the light of our love, which illuminates and expands their lives beyond their absent breathing and gives us a softer landing in our sorrow.
Okay. Let's try this again. Stand up and let's sing. Just as long as I have breath. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
We will now kindle our candles of care, and each time as we gather as a congregation, there are always those who are with us in our minds and hearts and who we want to wrap in our love and care. We kindle candles for those involved in I guess you would call it wars and incursions and all kinds of activities throughout the world where there's suffering going on that is just continuing day to day. We kindle candles for those who we have lost and we have loved. Let us share a moment in silence, embracing others who are here and here in our hearts and minds this morning. And you're welcome to say their names aloud as you are willing. Those named aloud and those embraced in our silence, and all those who are suffering elsewhere in our world at this hour, we hold in our community of compassion. I would like to now introduce Mary Giannini, who is going to share some information about the endowment team. Mary?
Good morning. As we honor the members and friends of our congregation that we lost in 2005, we also look forward to our church's enduring mission. I've been a member of this church since 1990. I met my husband. We've been contributing to the UUCS Endowment Fund for many years, and I've either served on or helped the endowment team practically since the team. We have team members Dan Ekret, Tom Bradabo, and Shane Gronholz. Our former team members, Karen Dornsteele, was our memory. She knew everything about the endowment from the day it started, and we miss her. Today we're asking you to consider making a memorial gift donation, perhaps in the name of somebody who we're honoring today, or in future gifts from your gift of $1,000 or more, or who plan to leave an estate gift in their wills. You may recall that after an extensive search, we sought board approval in early 2022 to change our investment of, at the time, about $760,000 from the UUA in Boston to the Seattle Foundation, which is a regional foundation. The board approved that recommendation in March of 2022 as of $1,053,941 and change. Our annual budget contributions, which are now directly to our operating fund, to the operating budget, have grown from less than $15,000 annually in 2018 to $38,000 plus this year, more than doubling since 2018. We hope that we'll continue to be able to add to our contributions to the budget from the endowment every year going forward. Hopefully, please mark endowment or memorial gift spokane.org, or call the church office, or speak to a member of the team. I think Sue Stieritz will be in all the energy that has been put into our fund in the past and going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Offering which sustains this community and its mission to the larger world.
Thank you, Jackie. For our meditation today, please find yourself a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you wish. Take a few deeper breaths and enjoy these words. In a world so filled with brokenness and sorrow, it would be easy to lose ourselves in never-ending grief, to be choked by our outrage, to be paralyzed by the enormity of our suffering, to feel our hearts as we hold our hearts open, breathing in as our hearts fill with compassion, breathing out as we pray for healing and be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into this world and from the world into us.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, 'twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've numberless days to sing God's grace. Then when we first
Thank you so much. That was really beautiful. Well, during 2025, we lost 10 members. The first two were included in our Requiem service last year. That was Lila Gervin. She died on January 9th, and then Catherine Lawrenson, who died January 18th. Donna Borden Rhodes on March 24th, Roby, Montana on January 17th, ultimately moving to the Puget Sound area. After her father's death in 1945, they moved to Tacoma, where she grew up. She attended the State College of Washington in Pullman, where she received her Bachelor of Arts in Foreign Languages with a focus on French. As a student, she showed her fondness for the performing arts, appearing in numerous stage productions on campus, such as Man and Superman and The Rainmaker. While at WSC, she married fellow student Donald McManus in '57. She and her husband then attended the University of Oregon for graduate school, where she received her master's in foreign languages. She then taught French in junior high school in Eugene, Oregon, before moving to Parsons, Kansas, and starting her family. In '69, the family moved to Spokane, where Donna would live the rest of her life. She would divorce in 1977 and worked as an administrative assistant for the YMCA of the Inland Northwest until her retirement in the late 1990s. She returned to college in the mid-'80s, receiving her bachelor's in international business from Eastern Washington University. In 1985, she taught English for one summer in Shenzhen, China. In 1988, she married Dick Borden, who died in 2013. Donna made multiple trips to France and Mexico and also traveled to Portugal and Nicaragua. In retirement, she volunteered as a teacher's aide and at the Spokane Food Bank. She also reconnected with her early love of performing, singing with both the Unitarian Universalist Church Choir and with Les Dawn Adult Women's Choir. One of her great passions was baking, especially bread. She taught classes in bread baking for many years and would humorously recall how one student told her that she had literally saved a student's marriage with newly acquired bread-making skills. Almost all of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren learned to bake in her kitchen. Gordon Larson passed away on May 10, 2025. He was born on April 28, 1940, in Fort Dodge, Iowa. He attended Iowa State University and then the University of Oregon. He attended medical school at the University of Iowa and received his doctorate in ophthalmology at the University of Virginia in 1972. Gordon's practice as an eye doctor was probably one of the last solo medical practices in Spokane. He loved the opportunity this afforded him to spend as much time with a patient as either of them needed. Whenever he performed cataract surgery, his assistant, Ann Fibing, sent the patient a long-stemmed rose in appreciation of their trust in Dr. Larson and his staff. He had an ideal childhood in Iowa, fishing with pals being the favorite activity. This led to a lifelong love of fishing, which became his hobby, and fly fishing his passion. Gordon was a member of the Unitarian Universalist Church, Fly Fishers Federation, River Keepers, Connoisseur Concerts, Spokane Valley Summer Theater, and Ski for Light International. During 4 decades of volunteer service with Ski for Light as a cross-country skiing guide for adults with visual impairments, Gordon received the President's Award along with the love and respect of hundreds of participants. SFL President Julie Coppins called him my wise, patient SFL uncle. Always there, always encouraging, quietly showing others the way. He will be greatly missed. He died at home from neuroendocrine cancer on June 14th. He was under the care of hospice and greatly appreciated their skilled presence. He so enjoyed visits from friends and colleagues in his own comfortable home with his wife and family. He was 85. Arthur Harlow, beloved husband, father, grandfather, and friend, passed away peacefully at home on June 17th at the age of 90. Born in February 1935 in Thompson Falls, Montana, Art grew up during a time of great change and met each chapter of life with resilience and unwavering integrity. He graduated high school in 1952 and attended Stanford University, earning a bachelor's and a master's degree in agricultural economics in '59. After 2 years in Washington, D.C., he moved to Spokane. Art spent most of his professional life with Bonneville Power Administration, eventually as power manager. He also served for many years on the board of directors of the Spokane Federal Credit Union. Among his proudest accomplishments was the Harlow Ranch in Thompson Falls, Montana. Founded by his grandfather in 1919, the ranch represented Art's love of the land, tireless work ethic, and commitment to the Harlow family legacy. Art was a passionate collector of antique cars and cherished their craftsmanship and the history they represented. He was a longtime member of both the Historical Auto Society of Spokane and the Inland Empire MG Classics Club. A soccer player in high school and college, Art continued to play soccer into his 60s with adult and senior soccer teams in town. Art met his wife, Mary Giannini, through mutual friends at the U Church of Spokane, and they married in 1993. The following year, Art retired from the Bonneville Power Administration, proudly declared himself a house husband, and began a new chapter supervising the house and yard, cooking healthy meals, and wrangling their beloved cat family. He also continued to manage the ranch, spending parts of most weeks there. Art and Mary traveled whenever they could to Hawaii, where Mary grew up, and daughter Melinda lived for many years. Senior soccer tournaments in Germany, New Zealand, Hawaii, and Canada, on classic car club trips throughout the Northwest, and to other sometimes far-flung destinations, such as Midway Atoll. Their last big adventure was a trip to Yellowstone in the winter of 2022 to see buffalo, wolves, and Old Faithful in the snow, a dream Art had cherished for years. Art's legacy is one of kindness, strength, and quiet wisdom. He found joy in simple pleasures, like a bowl of ice cream, sometimes as dinner. He is deeply missed. Ingrid Carlson passed away on October 9th. She was a fierce warrior who survived breast cancer, trigeminal neuralgia, and gracefully lived with Alzheimer's disease for over 10 years. Ingrid was a successful participant in a clinical trial which slowed the decline of Alzheimer's disease, giving her many more good years. Ingrid died peacefully Thursday, October 9th, surrounded by love, her family, and friends by her side. She was born in La Crosse, Wisconsin on August 24, 1944, to Myrtle Hansen and Oliver Carlson. Ingrid grew up working at the family root beer stand, and after graduating high school in '63, she received her RN degree from the Swedish Hospital School of Nursing in Minneapolis. Her passion was helping people, and while protesting the Vietnam War, Ingrid decided to be a helper. She joined the United States Air Force and served from '73 to '75. She served in the Philippines as a first lieutenant reserve in the Nurse Corps, in the military airlift wing, and took part in Operation Baby Lift. After Ingrid's military service, she made her home in Spokane, where she worked at Sacred Heart Hospital as a nurse in obstetrics, cardiac care, and the ICU. She also worked at Airway Heights Prison and with Planned Parenthood. Ingrid's love was home IV therapy, where she traveled to homes in Washington, Idaho, and Montana. She was a co-author on an article for the Journal of Intravenous Nursing, the retrospective look at 3 years of peripherally central catheter insertions. Not only was Ingrid passionate about helping people, but she also had a deep connection with animals and also had a wide variety of pets. If you knew Ingrid, you heard stories of Murphy, her monkey, and Tommy, an African gray parrot. Alzheimer's disease was especially difficult for Ingrid because she loved learning. While nursing, Ingrid earned a degree in welding and carpentry, which was quite handy when she built her own house. She also went to massage school, where she met Barb, the love of her life. Jan Trutton was born on May 23, 1932, in Rexburg, Idaho, and peacefully passed on October 14th of this year, or last year, at her home in Vancouver, Washington, which she shared with her daughter Debbie and her son-in-law Jeff. Jan moved to Spokane about 1967. Jan worked in the offices of one or more Spokane trucking companies, where she met Bud, who was a career professional truck driver. They were married soon after. Jan was a forever social butterfly. They were members of the Elks and Moose Lodges. They were both very actively involved in the Sports Car Club of Spokane for about 1.5 decades. Jan and Bud were older and easily became surrogate aunt and uncle to the children of the 3 couples they were close to. The families all competed in motorsports, camped, and partied together. The Truttons were active participants in the RV lifestyle for over a decade, which they shared with other families. One of the Truttons' favorite snowbird sites was Yuma, Arizona, where they eventually purchased a large, comfortable, double-wide manufactured home. Even after Bud's death in 2027, Jan traveled south to Yuma to spend the winter in that home. Jan and Bud became interested in UUCS in the mid-70s and soon became members. They were active in the church until Bud's death in 27. Jan remained active for many years afterward, attending Sunday services and participating in many events and activities, relishing the continuing friendships, the liberal religious atmosphere, and the feeling of community. In 2015, Jan moved to Vancouver, Washington to be near her family, including her daughter and son-in-law, granddaughter and great-grandson, while still maintaining the Yuma snowbird residence. Sally Cleveland passed away on the morning of November 17th at the age of 96. She died peacefully and was surrounded by family, friends, and love. Sally was born Sarah Catherine Essex on June 1st, 1929 in Rochester, Minnesota. She had the good fortune to have parents that were intelligent, hardworking, curious, with a wonderful Midwestern civility and decency, traits Sally readily absorbed and carried into her adult life. As a child, she was known for her athleticism and was reputed to be the fastest runner at Edison Elementary, boy or girl. She was soon joined by 2 sisters, Dorothy and Elizabeth, with whom she shared a lifetime of love and affection. She left Rochester in 1947 to attend Northwestern University in Chicago, where she was an enthusiastic sorority member of Pi Beta Phi. While she was there, she met a young medical student, Richard Cleveland. They were married soon after his graduation from medical school in 1951. Although she graduated from Northwestern with plans to become a teacher, her own children intervened, and she was consumed with a full-time job of being a mother and keeping a household with an ambitious and all too busy husband. True to her Midwestern upbringing, she was incredibly tough. While pregnant with her 3rd child, she contracted polio. Frequently on crutches during her pregnancy, the baby was born without incident. Although polio diminished her athleticism a bit, it never put a dent in her cheerfulness, optimism, or her work ethic. With the help of her parents, the young family was shuttled out to Spokane to start a new life in 1956. 2 more boys would follow. Spokane provided many opportunities to connect within the medical community and charitable and arts organizations outside of medicine. Beside her own network of friends, she was active in Junior League, Medical Auxiliary, Wampum, Women Helping Women, Spokane Symphony, Frontier Behavioral Health, the Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture, and the Unitarian Church. In an era where women's lives were often defined by their husbands, she cheerfully cut her own path. She and Cleve were true partners for over 67 years of marriage. They traveled the globe to Russia, China, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, the Caribbean, and many other destinations. She enjoyed the grand beauty of the Inland Empire, especially the beloved family place at Spirit Lake, Idaho, that she continued to savor until her final years. Kathleen K. Parkin passed away on December 1st, 2025, at the age of 88. She was born on February 28, 1937, in Lakota, North Dakota. Her earliest childhood days were spent in North Dakota until her family came out west to Spokane in 1945. In 1947, her parents purchased the Deer Park Pharmacy in Deer Park, Washington. She married Stephen Parkin in 1953. Their first child, a girl, was followed by 6 boys over the next 11 years, and finally a last little girl who tragically passed away at birth. In 1968, Kay and Steve bought the historic P.J. Kelly House and moved it from downtown Deer Park to its current location on B Street. They then purchased the Western Auto hardware store in Deer Park. Their home was always full of kids, cats, dogs, and other critters. Besides constant home improvement in their historic house, Kay and Steve enjoyed getting out into the woods, rock hounding, and being active parents. When Steve passed in 1972, Kay's life took a big turn. She went from being a homemaker who did not have a driver's license to being a hardware store owner and liquor agency manager. Kay learned the business and worked in the store 6 days per week to support her family. To keep her children busy and to have some fun on her one day off, Kay learned to ski and to paddleboard in the summer. Following in the footsteps of her parents and late husband, Kay was active in the Deer Park Chamber of Commerce and was elected to serve on the Deer Park Planning Commission. In 1982, Kay closed the Western Auto franchise and then ran the Deer Park Liquor Agency until her retirement in 2007. In 1983, Kay began dating William Bill Christensen. Bill and Kay were a compatible couple who gardened, crafted, danced, and camped together. Together, Bill and Kay also collected and cared for all kinds of critters, the usual cats, dogs, and fish, but also ferrets, parrots, chinchillas, a horned toad, an orphaned magpie, and other wild rescues. Kay and Bill married on November 14, 2001, and were together until Bill's passing in June 2011. In 2015, Kay moved to Spokane to be closer to her children. During that time, she became a member of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane and continued her lifelong passions of voracious reading, loving her pets, gardening, and staying connected with family. She lived in her own home until the summer of 2025 with the support from her children and grandchildren. David Ross Deerdorf. David Ross Deerdorf died at home in Spokane on December 5, 2025, with his wife of 30 years, Madeline Lefebvre, by his side. Dave was determined to live to the age of 90, and had he not slipped on the ice in early 2025, he just might have made it. Dave was born in Portland, Oregon. He delivered papers in his neighborhood, played the glockenspiel, and developed a fascination with radio through ham radio. As a teen and young man, David was an avid mountain climber and outdoor enthusiast. That love of outdoors stayed with him throughout his life, whether on the mountains, trails, or the water. Dave attended Stanford University beginning in 1956, took a break to serve in the United States Marine Corps, then returned to Stanford to complete his studies and play goalie for the soccer team. In 1962, he married Sue Angela Wotrine and began law school. They settled in Madras, Oregon, where Dave served as a prosecuting attorney, later moving to Bend and into private legal practice. He also served as chief of staff to the Oregon Senate president in Salem, and later as the reviser of statutes for the Alaska State Legislature in Juneau. His involvement as a UU began in the early days of the Bend, Oregon UU Fellowship, and he was active in the Pacific Northwest District in the 1970s, serving as district president. Early in their marriage, Dave and Madeline moved to Portland and joined Portland First Unitarian Church. He loved his hands-on work with Habitat for Humanity, building affordable houses for families in North Portland. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis just before the age of 40, Dave never allowed it to define him. His determination and joy for life were evident to all who knew him, including when he completed the 12K Lilac Bloomsday Run in 2023 in Spokane. In late 2021, Dave and Madeline moved to Rockwood South Hill to be closer to Dave's children. Dave volunteered in the wood shop making toys for Spokane children and families in need of support at the holidays. Dave will be remembered for his adventurous spirit, his resilience, his deep love of family, the trails and waters he explored, and for his sense of humor. Linda Hodge passed away in her sleep in the morning of January 3rd of this year. She was beloved by Larry, her husband of 63 years. Born in Lansing, Michigan on October 15th, 1939, she was the youngest of the 4 Balmer children. She earned a Bachelor of Arts in Social Work at Michigan State and a master's degree from Eastern Washington University, also in social work. Once she was hired at the VA in Spokane, she became truly an outstanding social worker who helped so many World War II veterans and their families. This is Linda, a mother who loved her children and grandchildren. She was a lifelong cat lover, a world traveler who greatly enjoyed lakes and oceans. She volunteered for many organizations, including the Red Cross, Meals on Wheels, and court-appointed special advocates. Linda loved playing games of bridge and cribbage and was a devoted, lifelong Gonzaga basketball fan. She read voraciously and loved crafting needlepoints and pottery.
Before Candace presents the list of names of our friends and family members who've gone before us, we have another poem to share. This one is called One Day I Surely Die by Adam Rayleigh. One day I surely die, and I shall be here no longer, nor there, nor anywhere reachable. Such is our lot, mine and yours. Between now and then lies the rest of our lives, with the meter running. We need not go gentle, we need not go raging, we need not go grudging, we need not go knowing even. We do need go, one by one, I before you, probably. Grief is this side of goodbye, death is the other. We have some practice with the one, it repeats. Not so the other, it just awaits. Meanwhile, wise is to know what counts.
The following is a list of family or friends of church members who passed away in 2025. Sherry Thompson, longtime close friend of Betty Bradabo. Richard Solberg, cousin of Fred Lawrenson. Patricia Freese, cousin of Fred Lawrenson. L.S. Corky Lawrenson, brother of Fred Lawrenson. Janet Reynolds, good friend of Julie and Jerry, Jose, and of all living things. Christopher Grant, uncle of Kirsten Grant. Alice Quinley, aunt of Kirsten Grant. Wilma Walsh, aunt of Candace Schmidt. And Anne Kirkwood Trail, artist, teacher, neighbor of Karen Dorn Steele and Richard Steele.
Okay, if we could please stand and let's sing our last song, our last hymn. For all that is our life.
For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. For sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
In closing, may this day of remembrance be with you in mind, in heart, in spirit. May it bring wonderful moments of joy and reflection, and know that this time of remembrance can be with you in a moment, responding to your desire for wholeness and closure. Amen. Blessed be. Salam alaikum and shalom.